Hi, everybody, and welcome to the special focus meeting of Recovery from Relapse of Overeaters Anonymous. My name is Rita Q, and today is the Tuesday, the 18th of November, 2025. And today I'm absolutely delighted to have our very own Jersey girl, Karen C. She came to OA in 2017, and I'm going to hand it over to her now to share her experience, strength, and hope. Thanks a million, Karen.
Okay, hi. Hi, this is Karen C., recovered compulsive overeater from the great state of New Jersey. Um, so we're talking about relapse today, and actually mine is a good story of relapse because it shows you it doesn't have to last forever. But let me start from the beginning. I was born a compulsive overeater. My childhood wasn't bad. It was okay. Back then, I'm older, 67. So, it was the 60s. You played outside. You got chased out of the house. It wasn't, but it was an okay childhood. It was a fun childhood. I remember summers better than school years because summer was when the fun was. So I can't blame a bad childhood on my compulsive overeating. I can't blame anything except the fact that I have a disease. I have to accept it. I have a disease. So I was a big baby, 9 pounds, 1 ounce, 24 inches. That's a pretty big baby. Then I was so skinny, they called me canary legs because I would run and, it looked like I had little bird legs. Then I got to my school years, I got fat. Then teen years, I got thin. Then 20s, I got fat. Up and down and up and down. I had kids, that was it. Two kids, two pregnancies. I never lost that baby weight. Well, sometimes I did. That's my story. I am a yo-yo dieter. I have been up and down the scale. I've been on every diet there is. My favorite was the string bean and vanilla ice cream diet. If you ate a small enough amount in the morning, you could have ice cream at night. That makes no sense for a compulsive overeater. But I did it. I tried everything. The one I mostly went to, and I don't want to put this down. I won't say it. It's one of the most famous pay and weigh ones. And I was on that for the most part because that's where a doctor would send you. If you went in and you were overweight and you'd be crying, I don't know how to do it. I don't know what to do. I try so hard. That's where they'd send you. So, and it works for a lot of people. But for me, I was up and down and up and down. And at one point, my prayer always was, God, please make me rich and skinny. That's what I wanted to be. Well, I'm not skinny now. My doctors like my weight. That's good enough for me. And I am not rich either. But I don't pray that way anymore. I pray to just let me remember that I have this guide, that I have access to this higher power, which to me is a mystery. I don't know what this higher power is, but I did find out I don't have to know, which that makes me feel good because sometimes I thought I was doing it wrong. I don't have a definition for God. I don't need one. I know there is one. I know something is keeping me this way, and it's not me. So at one point though, in this pay and weigh, I all of a sudden I started losing a lot of weight. And I thought, oh, I must be doing it right now, even though I was binging all night, almost every night until 2 days before weigh-in. And then I would try to starve myself. But in my sick mind, I thought I was doing it okay. I was getting a blood test. I asked the doctor, do you test for thyroid? Because my girlfriends were always complaining. Well, that's why I'm fat, because my thyroid is not working right. He said, sure, I'll test you for it. It turns out my thyroid was dangerously fast. That's why I was losing weight. Not because I was doing the diet right, but I had a very fast thyroid. And I remember I got down to my goal weight, even a little lower. And I said to my husband, I think I'm the only person in the world who's lost weight, and I'm still not happy with it. So that answers my prayer that thin is not the answer. It's not about being thin. It's the spiritual growth that that helps me. So they fixed my thyroid. I'm still on medicine. I run a little slow sometimes. Sometimes I'm okay, but I'm on medicine for it. But originally, when they fixed my thyroid, all my weight came back on plus some. So I wasn't doing it right. Right. I was sick. I had a fast thyroid. So gained all that weight back, still going to this pay and weigh because all my friends were going, and I thought that was the answer. In the end, I thought my highest weight, I guess you could show my picture now, Rita. Um, my highest weight was 250 pounds. And that picture with the red shirt on, I worked at a school and I was chaperoning a dance, and I thought I was pulling it off that night. I thought, I had my stretchy black pants on, that big shirt. I thought I was okay until I see it now. No. And the one next to it, I just was trying, always trying. I was always on a diet. You can take it off if you want. And that's me on the right now. Not skinny, but a normal body size. I love that there's no goal weight because that would drive me crazy. That was one of the things, by the way, I had to be abstinent from was being on a diet because that's what I was my whole life, on a diet. If I was So this was my Weight Watchers thing. I'm sorry, I said the name. It works for certain people, just not for me. Um, my thought was, if I keep doing this, maybe I won't get above 300 pounds. That was my crazy goal because I knew if I wasn't doing it, I was going to get to 350. So kept going up and down on the scale. And then my sister, who I call my Abby, she's in the other program, and she said, I'm going to go to an OA meeting. Do you want to go with me? Well, she's my younger sister. I'll support her in anything she wants. So I went to this OA meeting and saw all these happy people. Went to, like they say, go to 6 meetings. I did. It was big on gratitude, be grateful for everything. Okay. I was feeling pretty good. And then I went to a beginner's meeting where they read the doctor's opinion. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I never, ever thought I had a disease. My problem was I'm fat and lazy. That's what I call myself. It was all self-pity. You're fat and lazy. That's why you can't do anything. That's why you can't lose weight. No, I have a disease that actually brought me hope because I never looked at it as having a disease before. So I'll explain it if you're new. It's a twofold disease. I have an allergy of the body, which that made sense to me because a few years before, I found out I'm a medical miracle. I found out I have this allergy to certain healthy foods that if I eat them over the years, my esophagus tightens up. So I can't eat these foods. One of them is eggs. Eggs are my favorite food in the world. I was eating them every day. I never eat them now. I didn't need a 12-step program for that because they're not my trigger foods. I went to the doctor a year after, and my esophagus cleared up, and he said, well, what percentage of you are you not eating these foods? I said, what do you mean? 100%. You told me not to eat them. I'm not eating them. So when I read the doctor's opinion and they talked about this weird allergy, some people don't get it, but I got it because I didn't get hives from eating eggs. I got this weird esophagus thing. So when I eat, my things are, I don't know if we're supposed to name them, but any sugar, I don't eat any processed sugar, any of those high fat, high salt chips, which are all the rage. I can't eat any of them, even if the so-called healthy ones, can't eat them. And for them, though, I need a 12-step program because they trigger another allergy, which just makes me want more. That's it. I want more. I have to eat them till they're done, and then I'm looking for something else. So, and then also the obsession of the mind, that made sense to me because in my 20s, for some reason, I was in a lot of weddings, had a lot of girlfriends. I was always a bridesmaid. So, you diet down to fit in that dress. You'd go to the wedding. why can't I have this piece of cake? And of course, why can't I drink? I mean, I'm not an alcoholic, but there's sugar in alcohol. And I know that's what triggered me again. And I was off that diet and I was getting fat again. So that made sense to me too, that obsession of the mind. Why? If I'm doing so well on a diet, feeling good, looking good, not really suffering from it, because the diet I was on, I'll say it again, Weight Watchers, they let you eat. It's not a starvation diet. I wasn't hungry, but that obsession of the mind told me for some reason it's okay for you to take this bite. And I would take the bite and it would trigger the allergy. And the saying goes, I was off to the races. So that doctor's opinion really meant a lot to me. So I thought, they laugh at me because I was at this meeting and I'm crying. I cried I might cry today. I'm a crier. I cried every meeting the first year. And somebody said, do you have a sponsor? Do you want to go through the steps? And they said, they laugh at me because I had the look of joy and terror in the same look. So I said, yes, let's go through. Started going through the big book. I didn't get it, but they said, you don't have to get it. It's not for people who want it. It's not for people who need it. It's for people who do it. Just do these steps. So, I remember I don't know what page we were on in the book, because I didn't get really Bill's story until later when they told me, see what you have in common. Did my disease progress like his? Did I feel about food the way he felt about drink? And that was yes. So I did identify with him, but I wasn't really feeling anything. And my sponsor, who's from New Jersey, and they say we have a certain way about us, she said, well, Karen, you're on step 2 of a 12-step program. You're not going to feel anything yet. It's like, okay. So I just went through this chapter by chapter, did what she told me to do. Step 4 is when it started occurring to me. I thought I was the victim of every problem, especially with my husband. I've known my husband since 1976. I mean, you can build up some resentments in that amount of time. So I had a lot with him. Any problem with the marriage, and he's not a bad person, but any problem was his fault. It was easy to say it. It's not my fault. It's his fault. Until I did the 4th step and read the 5th step and felt like such a lightness when I left. So I went through the steps. She told me, you have to take people through the steps or you're not going to keep this. This is a spiritual program. It's like going to the gym. You can't join a gym and then not go. Your body's not going to get healthy if you just join the gym. You have to work at it. And it's the same with spiritual growth and taking other people through the steps. So I was good. That was 2017. I was neutral around food, taking people through the steps, sometimes 4 at a time. I don't do that anymore. It's too much. But and then I was coming up to about my 5th year. And to me, I don't care how many years. You can be as close to relapse in one day as you can be in 20 years of abstinence if you're not spiritually fit, if you're not working this program. So, and I wasn't. I'm good at resting on my laurels. I feel okay. I never say, God, I don't need you, but I act that way. I still do sometimes. But this was big. I wasn't doing 10 steps. Let's see, I'm crying. I wasn't doing 10 steps. 11 steps were just, quick and easy. So it was coming up on my 5th anniversary, also my, I think, 40th wedding anniversary. So we got a gift card to a French restaurant in a little town near me. So I thought, all right, I'll go. And it's funny, it's like Jim's story. I had a little fight with my husband about parking, of course, like something small. But it was no big deal. We went in. I had an abstinent meal. No sauce. I don't remember what it was because it was a while ago. And we told them it was our anniversary. So we're waiting for the check. And suddenly this little creme brulee comes in front of us, little, like this big, and we're supposed to share it. Well, I took my spoon and dove into that creme brulee, and it's all sugar. And I didn't even think. I had no thought. I just did it. After I was finished, I said to my husband, did I make a fool of myself? Did you get any of that creme brulee? Because I don't, I felt like a dog. I was eating it like a dog. It was embarrassing. So I felt awful about it. I was going to be 5 years, and look what I did. So I thought, this is it. All right. That night I thought, okay, I'm going to be careful for the, I know this allergy of the body is triggered. So I'm going to fight it. I'm going to use willpower, and I'm not going to eat anymore for 3 days. And then I'll go on with the steps. I mean, I was through the steps. I'll go on and I'll be okay. The next day, I'm talking to my sister, who, by the way, never still can't get the concepts of OA. She's sober, but she cannot be one day abstinent. She just, I don't know why, she just can't do it. So she thinks I'm Miss OA, like I did it. Why can't she? She probably feels a little bad about herself. So I was going to her house, and I was in my car, and I thought, how can I lie to her? How can I act like everything's okay when it's not okay? I relapsed. So instead of calling her, I called my sponsor, the same New Jersey girl sponsor, and I told her about it. And I got to tell you, that's the hardest part of relapse, is admitting that you relapsed. And that's my story of how it's easy to relapse, but it doesn't have to last forever. Just be honest. Tell your sponsor, tell whoever. It doesn't have to tell somebody else in the program. I told her. She said, oh, okay, Karen. She was kind to me, not sweet. She's not a sweet person, but she's a good sponsor. So she said, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go through these steps as slowly or as quickly as you want. Well, I went through the steps in 3 weeks because I was scared to death. I heard all these stories of people who had been in relapse for 20 years, 7 years, 5 years, whatever it was. It scared the crap out of me. I didn't want to be that way. So I went back through the steps just as intensely as I did the first time, only quicker. She had me call people. I was calling people, writing down. And I always said that I'm a high school graduate, proud high school graduate, 12 years, that was it. I was done with school. And I used to say to myself, if I studied in high school the way I studied the big book, I could have gone on to college and maybe medical school. Who knows? Because I studied that big book. And I did it again. I took a fourth step with her. And this time she wanted to see patterns. I didn't have to write my life story. I had to write what they call it, what's taking up space in your head rent free. What's bothering me now? It doesn't have to be everybody who ever bothered me. We're looking for patterns here, because face it, I could have resentments against 10 different people. It's always, there's one common denominator, and that's me. So I went through the steps again, and that was in, 2022, I guess. Yeah, 2022. And I've been abstinent ever since. I'm not perfect in this program. I still sometimes rest on my laurels, but I have to say that everything in my life has changed, along with the fact that nothing really has changed. I'm still with the same person, still in the same house. But I did have that psychic change. I had it the first time too. I let it go. Like the gym. I had a great gym membership, going working out every day, I mean, and then just stop. It's not going to last. We have to have this spiritual growth. We have to, spirituality, we're powerless, but we still need to we need to meditate, pray, whatever you do when you're 11 step. We have to do that 11 step. We have to do the 10 step when we're bothered. And I've learned that steps 4 through 9 are actually just practice for step 10, where you're not going to hold these resentments anymore for years. You're going to hold them maybe for 10 minutes. And I've noticed now, and I have to be honest, I don't have many 10 steps because I'm retired. If I were still working, I'd be in the bathroom every hour doing a 10 step on the phone or on my app or whatever. But I'm around people, only people I want to be around now. So 10 steps, I'll have one where somebody cuts me off in traffic. I don't need to do a full on 10 step. I know that's me. Like, how dare they? Don't they know who I am? I need to get where I'm going. Don't you dare cut me off. I know that's me. That can be between me and God. I just say, God, whatever I love that we can choose our own conception. That's another thing. If they told me I was raised Catholic, if they told me I had to go back to any church, I would have been back to Weight Watchers. But they told me I could choose my own conception. Thank God for that, because I did. I have my own conception. So I don't. So anyway, I just now I take people through the steps. I make phone calls. I have phone calls planned. Like, people call me once a week for an hour, or not even an hour, half an hour. And I do make some phone calls. I wish I were better at that. I always say, this week I'm going to do it. And I have to admit, I'm really not great at making phone calls. So, but I'm on WhatsApp. So if anybody wants to call me, I'll call back if I can't answer. And I just live in the steps, and life is so much easier. With like, so I'll just say, with my daughter was 28 when she got pregnant. She lived with me with her son. When he was 9, she got pregnant again, both times without being married. And this time she moved out. So, and she's in another program. So even with her, my greatest saying now is, it's none of my business. I used to try to get involved in her business. We're both growing along those lines, because even if I do sometimes try to give her advice, she'll tell me, I don't need your advice. And she's doing really well. So life with her is so much easier. And it was hard with her. I think we were like codependent. And that's, if you need those other programs, do the other programs. But just doing these steps have helped me so much with all my relationships. It's not as much about the food anymore. It's about being able to live in my crazy country right now. It's insanity over here. And it bothers me. It scares me a little, but I'm not as afraid as I would have been if I didn't have this program, if I didn't have an access to God, which I have now. I think maybe we need to learn more, and I don't know what it is, but oh wow, I only have 7 minutes left. Good. I had my hand on the clock. It said 13. It wasn't going anywhere. So 7 minutes. So I'll start to wrap it up. So anyway, I suggest, if you're in relapse, the hardest part is to admit that you're in relapse. Just do it. Just like the steps, just do them, like Nike, just do it. And somebody will take you through, and you don't have to live in this self-pity, this self-hatred. You just get through the steps. You take away the blockage between you and your higher power, and you can be back. You can be back. It's, of course you need to be abstinent, but that doesn't have to be your main focus. Know what you have to eat. By this time, I know what I have to eat, and it's easy to avoid my trigger foods. But by the way, I don't have to avoid them. I could go to bakeries around here and buy cakes for people. It doesn't bother me at all. I look at them as pretty items. Wow, look how nice that looks. Look at the roses on that. I don't even think about it as food. The main part is the spiritual growth. And that's what I need to always, I say, God, remind me that I have you, because I forget sometimes. So pausing throughout the day is a big thing. Being out in nature for me is a big thing. And I live in the suburbs. There's not, well, actually I have like this little, they call it a green acres around me. That's all trees. I go there. I feel God there. I feel I'm 80 miles from the Atlantic Ocean. When I'm on the beach, I feel God. It's something about nature with me and God that more than a church, but if it's a church for you, that's awesome. Um, so that's what it's about. It's about getting back that spiritual feeling, that spirit, and have it grow. Read different spiritual teachers. I like a few of them. I like Richard Rohr. I like Marianne Williamson, Thomas Merton. I mean, there's a lot of them out there. Call people, and they tell you that in the big book. If go to priests and rabbis, see what they have to offer. Ask people, what are you reading now? I read so many different books in the morning. I love them all. They're all helpful to me. So I think that's all I have to say. I have a few more minutes left, but thank you for letting me share. I love the fact that we are not people who would normally mix. And because of COVID, there's one good thing about COVID. There's Zoom, and here I am. I don't even know where this meeting is. I know it's not in New Jersey, and I love that. So thank you for letting me share.
Oh, Karen, what a brilliant message of depth and weight. I'm just going to read a little paragraph out of the big book that kind of relates to your share. It says, more about alcoholism, page 30. Most of us have been unwilling to admit we were real alcoholics. No person likes to think he is bodily and mentally different from his fellows. Therefore, it is not surprising that our drinking careers or eating careers have been characterized by countless vain attempts to prove we could drink like other people. The idea that somehow, someday, he will control and enjoy his drinking is a great obsession of every abnormal drinker. The persistence of this illusion is astonishing. Many pursue it into the gates of insanity or death. We learned that we had to fully concede to our innermost selves that we were real alcoholics. This is the first step in recovery. The delusion we are like other people or presently maybe has to be smashed.